What's up everyone, it's Ambor's new video, semi-final 2, why your country did not qualify at Eurovision 2025, kind of a summary about some countries, even though in here probably just about Czechia I was talking in masterclasses, but in here I will more likely summarize why I think they didn't qualify over the others, what was the issue, what to avoid next time, and so on and so on. And I will start from the place 11, which was Australia, and end up with Montenegro. So, disclaimer 1, of course, some might be also geographical reasons, some might be political reasons, and so on and so on, but this is the facts we have at Eurovision nowadays. It's only public voting, and public votes emotionally, diasporically, neighbors. It will always be the same. Depends on the situation. Although politics, this is how it is, and instead of complaining, if you don't like it, I think countries should change the rules, bring back the jurors, and so on to balance it a little bit more. Because, how can you really manage the public? It's impossible, and you shouldn't even care about it. You should care about do your best possible work, which those 6 countries which didn't qualify didn't do better than the rest. So let's start in 11th place, which is Australia, with 41 points, 10 points different for the qualification, which is already a lot. So there was a huge difference between qualifiers and non-qualifiers. I would say 10 points, it's a lot, because every single little point really counts. And Australia, in my opinion, just did this, what I was commenting also in semi-final 1, a little bit too queer. Regardless what you think, people vote based on how they can accept it, agree with it, or don't feel it annoying. I think this card was played a little bit there in it. 1 point minus. This was one of the reasons. Don't push this card so hard. Eurovision viewers and voters are not Eurovision fans, hardcore fans who are normally commenting and watching all those videos and so on. It's a variety of the audience in general who are not that crazily involved, and this bubble thinking, it's killing Eurovision a little bit, killing the chances of the countries also if they are going too far, regardless you agree with it or not, fact speaking. The second thing is, it was, I think, by staging a little bit empty, even though it was filled. It was trying to be tele-shopping kind of a joke. I think a little bit too much not fitting into the concept of the milkshake man, which was a little bit dirty idea also, even though anybody from the team will say it's not. It was like, I like milkshakes, like, yeah, okay. But I think that was this. Still 11th, amazing score, because in my opinion, on the other hand, the song was catchy. What didn't really work out, it was this empty-ish 80s vibe staging, which for me personally, as a professional, worked, because I can see all those little nice details as the idea, but I think for the general audience, the idea was a little bit too complicated and too not fitting, kind of, to the artist himself. It just didn't work together. It didn't click. It didn't click for me, at least. Maybe it clicked for you in the comments below if you think this was dropped by the audience, because only audience is voting, or if you agree with what I just said. And let's move on to Czechia. I did a big masterclass about Czechia. I think there was a huge misunderstanding, again, what staging it really is, that didn't help the song itself. Of course, I think the general audience doesn't know about the song. Normally was about to be a ballad, then they artificially add this dance break, but when then they see the dance break, in my opinion, it just didn't make sense. All the dramaturgy of the song didn't make sense, and of course the performance was weak. I don't want to the reasons were officially that something with the headphones, or the feedback from the song, like everything was a little bit more improvisation. Okay, but if you watch the performance also for juries, you can feel the same vibe from it, even though it was much more on point. But the thing that all together, with the staging, with the color palette, there was nothing interesting about it, nor the artist, nor the song, nor the staging. It just simply was there at Eurovision, and still it received 29 points, which is not a bad score. I, after all, expected less from the public, but 29 points, 12th place, it's not that bad. Of course, it's a huge difference for qualification, but there were 12 to 15, there was only 1 point difference. So there was more like this average part of those non-qualifiers, which just was basically almost the same thing. Interesting, because the chances I expected to be better before the Eurovision, much higher, at least to qualify. But it was clear that with the staging there were some troubles when they were talking in different podcasts about how to budget and so on. But this is exactly it. Because of course Czechia, I'm feeling a little bit more. Of course, I know thoughts from so many other angles. With some I agree, some are kind of funny, some are agreeable. The thing is that it's absolutely clear now for me that so many people were doing so many different things, they couldn't connect all together. So many thoughts. Again, I think this is the problem of last 4 years, 100%. But the thing is that the clear thing, what they should take from this is that they really need to find a person who can connect all of it, regardless creativity, not just the visual part, but also the camera part, also somebody who grabs it as a one body and also helps the artist to be a better thing. And I don't actually think that in this case the artists from previous years are the best choice to do this, because they know only their part, but there must be somebody from behind the scenes who knows also all the things behind, because this is how they can help it prepare the artists, be very confident and so on, and also connect all the thoughts, all the marketing and everything into one body, because then it seems that everything is doing completely different stuff, and then of course it doesn't come together, and then all those little bad decisions are made. If I just take this from that position of viewer, of course the final performance didn't really help, because not just that the song itself and the staging itself was absolutely uninspiring, also with the costumes, also this queerish vibe from it again, which, sorry, but it doesn't help. And it's nothing against this at all, but if it's so many, too much, like if you have 5 same divas, also you will have the same issue, and if you have this vibe, I don't think people are interested in it anymore. I think it's not the era for it, or it's too late, or it's okay. There is nothing special about it, and nothing also to be like wow, bravo, because it's normal. So this doesn't also help, and to focus on how to support the song better, really better, not how to please the audience, not how to please Eurovision audience, but really do a great product, because numbers doesn't lie, really. They don't lie. Okay, let's move to Ireland. This was for me like a little bit similar problem to Czechia from a different angle. There was nothing to take from it. A song which is okay, the performance which was very static from the artist's point of view, and also the charisma wasn't kind of there. And this is very sorry to say it like that out loud, but it's extremely important next time if they will do it. Of course you cannot, but you can compare it to Bambitak. I can think about anything about that artist and the whatever opinions and the music, but there was extreme charisma to that artist, and it wasn't really used in this case. What is the proper charisma of Emmy, and how to sell it. Everything what was great about this song was all of it around those distractions, but after all you cannot distract from the main artist. It didn't really work. So I would more likely focus on this and really be sure that the director who's doing it really is focusing this way, focusing not to distract but to support. I think this is very important. Serbian case, Mila Prince, I think that was the obsolete song. the song simply wasn't it, a little bit too obsolete, even Balkanish, not so many things there like that, even though in Montenegro had basically similar stuff, I would say. Yet I think from a different era, with a different, like with the staging which exactly correlated with that era, but wasn't feeling retro. It was feeling more like they don't know what the year is, because if you want to do modern retro, it must still feel fresh. But this didn't felt fresh, and it was using all those little cliches, also moving on the floor, this swiping the floor. That was very weird. And the issue I had with it, and I think what's the problem, I couldn't connect with him. I didn't understand his story, his part in it. He was performing the song for Eurovision, but I didn't believe the the story. I didn't believe why there are male dancers when he's talking about a woman. It just didn't make sense, It wasn't masculine. It again tried to please some Eurovision babble, but that doesn't work, and it doesn't work in 2025. I'm pretty sure it won't. Like it won't really work in 2026. I think people also in the era of AI, nothing is really real. Want to feel something is surreal, believable, not constructed that much. Like really being itself understandable and not trying to be pleasing. This was a pleaser. With combination of the song itself, I think that's the reason why it failed to qualify. And Georgia from Marian Shengelia, Freedom, you know what? I expected much worse result from it because it's an extremely hard to understand song, too complicated song itself. They've chosen the song, which is absolutely hard to focus at, to catch with, to sing it, it's a song which comes from two, I would say, I will say it like too intellectual sphere a little bit, let's say. But on the other hand, Marian Shengelia was extremely charismatic artist, amazing singer, one of the best, if not like one of the best three top five artists from this semifinal. Yet the song didn't work. The staging, I would say, was fine. It was okay. It made even sense of the song, but it wasn't enough. The song wasn't really strong. It's like it would work at Eurovision 20 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe something like this, different era, 80s, maybe 90s, but not nowadays. This is this nationalistic approach or something. I think countries are trying it. Greece did it, but it was more to modern side approachable than Georgia. But because with Georgia you cannot you cannot really follow, and that was the mistake. Yet her performance saved them 15th place, 28th place. But in this case, if it's 11 or 15 doesn't really matter. All the same. But Montenegro, that was the last one, and I think that even though the song was also this classical Balkan ballad, and people are probably not very interested in it anymore. Her performance of Nina Žižić was, from the jury standpoint, very, very good, very good. But the jury doesn't vote there, so you cannot focus only on this. And by the staging, which was absolutely killed by the dress, because the dress took all the attention. It looked like a pillow or the bed sheet from behind. You were showing the bad parts of it, and it took so much attention to it that you killed the audience, thinking we're focusing on the pillow. And then when they come to voting, they'll say like, the pillow lady, but they don't know the song. Even with the recaps, they cannot follow it. They constantly watch, if this pillow, what will happen to this dress? Will she change it? What will happen? And this is it was one of the worst mistakes of this Eurovision stagings, because you cannot take attention out of your artist with the dress. It shouldn't be about the dress. It was too big ego of the stylist of this act for an inappropriate occasion. If it's the red carpet or blue carpet, or however they call it, yes, then it makes sense. But if it's a performance, you shouldn't do stronger and bigger and that like that specific dress styling for your artist, because then your artist just cannot stand out. It's a distraction, and the dress shouldn't work as a distraction. The dress should work as a complementation to the artist and the song, not vice versa. And in here, it just didn't make sense at all, and this killed it. But that's my opinion only. All those 16, all those 6 songs, and why I think they didn't qualify. Maybe I didn't tell you anything what you already didn't know, but I had the urge to talk about it. So write me in the comments below what you think. Add more things. Why do you think they didn't qualify, or why they maybe should qualify, where they robbed? I don't know. This is up to you to decide in here and discuss. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.